The people at Truck Stop then teamed up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truck Stop Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
What's going on? What's going on? Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. How's everybody doing this morning? Shout out to Goat Logistics. Shout out to Sharks World. Great Polo. Shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to all the moderators. It's the Walk. What's up, Costas? Where you been at, Costas? I see Costas in the building. Hold on. Where Costas? What's up, Costas? Where you been at, big dog? Where you been at, big dog? Shout out to UK Hemi. Hey, Hemi, is that because you got a Hemi? You didn't answer the question the other day. UK Hemi? Is that because you got a Hemi? What's going on? Shout out to Pippi, William Sweet. Shout out to Manny the driver, Jonathan. What's going on to all the MGM members? What's going on to Wes? Captured by Old Studio, checking in from Nolans. Captured by Old Studio. Man, I heard y'all got some issues down there in New Orleans. A bunch of confusion going on down there about the Kendrick Lamar getting to perform at the Super Bowl over Lil Wayne. They was blaming it on Rock Nation and Jay-Z, but I found out that New Orleans made that decision. I heard they got the final say-so. I heard New Orleans got the final say-so as far as who performs. I heard the hosting city has the final say-so. So what's going on with the powers that be in New Orleans? Why they didn't want Lil Tunechi to perform? Why New Orleans don't want Lil Tunechi to perform? Let me know in the chat. What up, Don Beasley? What's up, Kobe? What's going on in Sharks World? What's the dealio? Costa said Mark finally went to Provari. Okay, you went. I liked it a lot. Some of the appetizers were a little salty, but nonetheless excellent. Okay. So we do agree that the food was salty. We do agree on that. The subscriber that I actually ran into, who was actually sitting at the table next to me that day, who came in the chat, he said the food was salty as well. Yeah, my experience there was a little, it was a little too turned up in there for me. It was a little bit too turned up, but yeah, okay, all right, all right. Let's see what else we got. All right, I don't know, man. I'm Team Wayne for sure. I know you are. You from the NO. All right, but come on in, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's get to it. All right, this is something I want to talk about. All right, and this is very important. And what there's some recent events that have led me to talk about this. Now, a lot of the stuff, I know I get people that come up on the channel, but I get a lot of DMs. I don't get a chance to read them all. I get a lot of Facebook messages. I have people that reach out in the Discord. All right. But there's been some recent events that have just put me in a sour mood. And it's unfortunate. A lot of the unfortunate situations that have happened to a lot of people that have come into the space within the past 4 years, but predominantly a lot of the younger generation. When you see me do my content and people hit the links and then I jump into accountability mode, if you haven't noticed, there's two different accountability marks. There's the more humorous accountability mark, and then there's a more serious, man, damn, I can't believe he said that to that person accountability mark. Now, if you're really paying attention, The more humorous accountability, Mark, is geared more towards the younger crowd, right? And the reason why is because I know for the most part, a lot of those younger individuals, they really don't have a fully developed brain yet, especially the ones that are under 25. Some of the ones that are 25 to 30, I'm a little bit more humorous with them as well. Shout out to Costas. Every time Costas comes in, he likes to gift those memberships. He likes to gift those memberships. So shout out to Costas for gifting those memberships.
Sweet.
But I'm a little bit more humorous when it with the younger people because I know they're still young and they ain't got all their marbles. But if you watch a live stream like the other day or yesterday or maybe with Talk to Me Nice, I'm a little bit more hardened. Pause. And the reason why is because I expect more from older people, right? I expect older people to know better when it comes to certain things, uh, as far as starting a business. You know what I'm saying? Um, so there's two different people, but recently I've just been coming across a lot of young people who have been coming to me. Um, some behind the scenes, some on camera, and it's just upsetting. All right, so I want to talk kind of how and why a lot of people are being misled into the box truck business. Now, let me say this too. Um, you may not agree with the way I present my content, and that's fine. There was a guy who expressed his his you know his disdain for the way I present my content the other day, but there's a method to my madness. I don't just do things willy nilly. All right. Sometimes, in order to help people correct their behavior, they have to see themselves in the mirror. Right. That's why I said go into the bathroom, turn the light on, and point. All right. Uh, when you present certain things and people see certain things, it resonates. You never know what episode or what clip from a previous call-in show may resonate with someone else and be like, okay, that's me. I didn't look at it that way until I saw this. So I didn't look at it that way until you broke it down to that person. Like, these are conversations that I have behind the scene that you may not know. A lot of people say, and you've probably seen people come up on the platform and said it. I hear it a lot. I just heard it literally 15 minutes before I came on the stream. Mark, when I first started watching box truck content to come into the box truck space, I didn't like you. I didn't like your channel. See, what happens is people think what I'm saying is negative or it's pessimistic, right? But it's just the truth. And when people transition into liking my channel and liking my content is when they've already gone off and did what wasn't in their best interest. And then they realize that the guy that they didn't like, what he was saying wasn't negative, it was just the truth, because they're starting to come across and encounter a lot of the things that I was talking about. If something sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. And I understand that, right? I'm not here to sell you anything. The only thing I'm here to do is share my experiences with you. And hopefully my experience and my tenure in the space, I can, give you some information uh, that you can use to help catapult you to success. It maybe uh, deter you around some of the learning curve, or maybe, some situations that you may encounter. I've encountered them, so I can tell you how to maneuver yourself out of them. That's it. So it's not the fact that the content is negative or it's pessimistic. It's just the truth. Business is hard knock. It's not simple. It's not easy. But a lot of young people are looking for that quick hit, that quick lick, that quick come up. But let's get into it. I'm not going to drag out my monologue. I want to hit my bullet points that I have uh, typed up and written down, and let you guys go ahead and be on your way. The first thing I want to talk about how and why young people are being misled into this box truck industry. The main culprit is social media influence. I always say how careful I am about presenting content, right? I'm very careful. I think things out because I don't want to, you know, have people I say something that I did and I know maybe a lot of people may not be in that situation to do that or may be in that situation to take a risk. That's why certain content I put it on the members only, right? Like financial things, the things that I'm doing as far as investments, I don't put that on the main channel. Why? Because I don't know who's on the other side of the screen. I realized, early on in creating content that content creators are like reality stars and like celebrities and stuff like that. I didn't think that. I didn't know that prior to creating content. I realized that once I started creating content. So I make sure that I'm careful in what I present because there may be someone watching who never puts anything in the camera, but just likes the way I present content, may like me as a person from what they see, uh, how I speak, and they may try to mimic everything I do because to them, I may be what success looks like, right? So if I talk about maybe like a financial investment and how I'm investing in it, but I may not because my content isn't revolved around finances all the time. I could say, okay, I invested into this. Someone goes invest into it, and 4 months later, I've divested from it because I've probably made 5 or 6% or whatever it may be, and I never come back on camera and mention it, right? And then that person puts all their money into it because Mark the Mentor said he's in it, and because I didn't come back and give an update, the market crashes, and then they lose all their money, right? And now I'm to blame. And this is why I don't do that type of content. And when I do it, it's on the members only because I know the people on the members only side and I know what their mental fortitude is when it comes to trucking and when it comes to investment. A lot of people who are influencers in the space, they're influencers to profit from it, right? So it's just like I talk about all the time. Business is dog eat dog. There was a situation that was in the Discord the other day. Hit the like button, hit the like button. This wasn't a younger person, this was an older person who went out and acquired some equipment. And up until she came into that Discord and told me what her past 2 weeks were like as far as acquiring the truck, running the first load, every single encounter that she had, even purchasing the truck, she was taken advantage of. She was absolutely taken advantage of. Right. So I'm always dealing with situations behind the scene that the public, the people who watch me publicly on YouTube, don't see, don't hear. You don't know about how many people I've helped financially. Well, some you have because I've done some uh, on a public live stream financially, uh, uh, mentally, as far as giving them advice. They've been in desperate situations, they've been in dire situations, and they've, my DM is going off. People are looking for me. Somebody pinged me Saturday night. Someone wanted to talk to me late Saturday night. Man, Mark, there's somebody that needs to talk to you in the Discord. Are you free right now? Like, you guys I spend countless hours helping people maneuver people out of bad situations that other people have misled them into. So going back to what I was saying is a lot of these influencers are here to make money. They're not really here to help you. Like that lady who I said came into the Discord and she was misled every step of the way, from the people who sold her the truck to the people who gave her the load. She got a 12-foot truck. I'm pretty sure the people, the dealership or whoever she went to buy that truck, she told them her plans to run OTR. But guess what? Did they tell her, listen, this truck isn't adequate to run OTR? Only thing you're going to be able to get on here is one ballot? No. They sold her a 12-foot truck for $15,000, which they overcharged her for. The first load, they only paid her $200. She's driving state to state, then deadheaded back. People will absolutely 100% take advantage of you out here in the world. Social media influencers don't care if you succeed or fail. They're selling you the highlights of what trucking can bring you. They're not selling you the lowlights. Some of them don't even know what the lowlights are because they've never been in this business. The ones that are in the business came in at the same time you did. There was an infusion of creators and influencers that popped up on the scene during the pandemic. I wasn't on the scene in these YouTube streets in 2020 and 2021. I came in when I was exiting. I found out about this sector when I was exiting. Even if I would have known about it, I wouldn't have had time to do this shit because I was too busy. Someone is not going to sell you the low lights, even if they know there are low lights, because low lights aren't going to result into sales for them. So what happens is that a lot of young people who are on social media all day anyway, they continuously see box truck business, how I made 1.2 million in the box truck business. Oh, I made $10,000 last week going a box truck, 500 miles for $3,000 in one pallet in a box truck. It's just like your favorite song back when people used to listen to the radio. Certain record companies that were looking to push certain artists, payola with the program managers, certain songs you would hear all day, repeatedly, over and over and over and over again. And that repetition gets into your head. Next thing you know, you're singing that song, you're humming that song. And back in the day, you're on your way to Walmart, you're on your way to Target, even go a little bit further back in the day, you're on your way to your local music store in your neighborhood to get that tape, that cassette tape, or that CD, or you want to go back a little farther, that vinyl of that artist, because you're hearing it over and over and over and over and over. So when people see social media and they keep seeing this box truck stuff and they keep seeing these large numbers, and then they see these influencers and they're standing next to fancy cars, they're walking through fancy apartment buildings, they're on private, well, you ain't seen them on private jets, but let's say yachts and things of that nature. I may be exaggerating a little bit. It's that allure of money and success and the finer things in life, right? And then on the other side of it, you're looking at how I made 1.2 million in 12 months, or 100 miles and it got me $2,500, and it was only one pallet. That's the marketing that they're utilizing to get you to buy in. A lot of these guys have invested into coaching with some of the biggest influencer marketing agencies and some of the biggest influencers that sell coaching on how to capture your attention. There's certain keywords, there's certain SEO they use, there's certain words they use to get you to buy in. The business for them is the social media. And what happens with a lot of young people, they don't have a fully developed brain, hit the like button, to be able to decipher what's real, what's not, what's too good to be true. And if something is too good to be true, then it probably is. See, us older people, we used to hear that a lot. Something sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. And then the older you get, you come across different situations in life, and life starts to show you that when something sounds too good to be true, it is. And when you haven't had these life experiences yet, and you're still green and naive, you fall victim to a lot of these marketing schemes. Can you be successful in the box truck business? Absolutely. The way that it's presented on social media to you, is it as easy as 1, 2, 3 the way it's presented to you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. See, what happens is there's things that I want to talk about, right? But I want to, certain people come to me behind the scenes, and it's a reason why they come to me behind the scenes. This back and forth that I had the other day, why y'all keep talking about the volume? This back and forth that I had the other day, it's probably because the AC is blowing, but it's hot under these lights, so I got to keep the AC. And there's a vent up here, and this is a loft, so it's kind of loud and airy. So you got to bear with me because these lights are hot. There was this back and forth I had the other day with an individual who I just clearly just didn't like how I present my content. I kind of talked about this earlier, but I present it that way purposely. I think these young cats need this harsh, tough love. Pause. I don't want to be their friend. I don't really care. I don't know them anyway. I'm giving them the harsh reality of what it entails to be a business owner. See, the issue and the problem that a lot of people that don't like the content is because it doesn't sound easy. Doesn't sound easy. It does not sound easy. And what happens with a lot of young people nowadays, they want things to be easy. They want that quick gratification, right? Because they've been corrupted with social media. So they have social media influencers that are misleading them, but they're also corrupted just by the fact of social media itself altogether, because they see false realities. They see people perpetuating lifestyles that are fake. They see people that go spend money on Airbnbs and rent cars off Turo to perpetuate a lifestyle that's fake so that you can buy into whatever it is that they're selling. To me, Instagram is just a place where it's a bunch of fake life and fake people and fake asses and fake titties and just a bunch of fake shit. And you see a lot of young people now that just have a lot of material things, a lot of fancy things, and at that young age, when you're young and in your early to mid 20s or just throughout your 20s in general, that's a very impressionable age. So you got people that are in their 20s and then they see their peers on social media that are flexing, that have big jewelry on, even though it's probably moissanite. They be with all the baddest chicks, even though they paying them. They driving the Hellcats, even though they stolen. They walking through these fancy penthouses, even though they rent it from Airbnb. But these young guys, they want that lifestyle. So they have to figure out a way to be able to obtain these things because they want them too, because they see their peers flexing. They're impressionable. So that's why it's easy when something keeps popping up on their timeline, like you can start this business for $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 because $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, it seems obtainable. Seems attainable. It's easy. It's okay. You know what? That's it. That's it. 3,000, 4,000. Okay, I can come up with that. I can go. They might go finesse. They might go work. They may go borrow. But that seems attainable. They can obtain that. You tell someone, oh, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, that whole allure is going out the window because it's harder to obtain that much capital. See, none of these guys tell them, start from humble beginnings like Big Mark tell them. Like Big Mark tell you the real. I tell you my story. I've showed you my story. Big Mark started with nothing but what he had. And that's the best way to start. Nobody wants to, but when you tell them that, right, when they come over or they watch Big Mark and then everybody else is showing them something else, what Big Mark is saying sounds too hard. What Big Mark is saying, if it's too hard and it's going to take too long. Where I'm trying to get to is going to take too long. They saying that I can go pick up a pallet, I can go on the DAT load board, I can pick up a pallet and I can go 2 miles and they're going to cut me a check for $6,000. They saying I can make 1.1 the first year. Big Mark telling me I'm not. They said you can make $1 million with a box truck. Big Mark said that's cap. They saying you can start a box truck business with $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Big Mark said that's cap. Big Mark, when you watch Big Mark sounds like he's full of shit. But then you end up having to come to Big Mark. And that's when I get the call-in show call-ins. That's when I get the DMs. That's when I get the Discord conversations, the Facebook message conversations, people stopping me in the street. Listen, people stop Big Mark in the street. I'm not from middle America. I live in a big city. So it's easy for people to spot Big Mark. Big Mark, I need your help, man. I know you getting it in right now with your workout. Big Mark, I know you eating, but man, can we chop it up? In traffic, Mark, on the highway, Mark. I'm not capping. Why? Because everything I was saying, now they realize it's right. I got to go into fix it mode. I become the fixer. I have to fix people's problems from the misinformation that they were sold when they entered into the industry because they were looking for quick, instant gratification. Hit the like button. So that's the number one reason why people are misled. Social media as a collective. influencers, and just the allure of social media altogether. That's the number one reason why a lot of young people are misled. So before we go into the next thing, here's what I tell young people: get off social media. Stop looking for individuals to buy information from to give you a quick blueprint to success. It's not going to happen. If you're lucky enough to find one individual who is trustworthy, that you can consume information from, then that's great. If the information sounds too good to be true, then it is. I'm going to tell you that right now. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. There's nothing, you can't associate success with instant gratification. You cannot associate success with instant gratification. You just can't. I don't know one person that has had success in anything and hard work wasn't associated with it. Sacrifice wasn't associated with it. I think a lot of you guys should get off social media because you're impressionable. You're easily influenced. And that is one of the main factors of why so many young people are being misled. The second is the failure just to understand business. And that goes back to what I talked about a few minutes ago as far as brain development. You're still young. You lack a lot of wisdom. You don't know when you're being deceived. You don't know when you're being misled. You think people are different. Listen, I was talking to someone recently, young. I talked to a bunch of young people, especially in the Discord. There was a guy that came up the other day. What was his name? Bryant. All these young people think they're good people in the world. Like everybody's good people, and they're not. I told someone yesterday, listen, I look at people as bad people, and they have to gain my trust. I don't look at people as good. I look at everybody as bad. Everybody is bad to me. You have to show me that you're a good person. See, when you go around the world because you're naive and you think everybody is good, you have no wall up. And this is how you get taken advantage of. My wall is always up because I don't trust nobody. I think everybody is a bad person that I meet. They have to prove to me that they're a good person. This is something that I developed over the years, just growing older and just being wiser. You have to prove to me that you're a trustworthy person. You have to prove to me that you're a good person. Not the other way around. I'm not going to allow you to prove to me that you're a bad person. I'm not going to allow you to prove to me that you're out to get me. I'm not going to allow you to prove to me that you don't have my best interest at heart. It's the other way around. I don't trust you. I don't mess with you like that. No, none of that. You got to show me. And see, a lot of people that are young, because they're naive and they're impressionable, they think the other way around. I've had conversations recently with some young people under 25, and they say, man, Mark, I just want to think there's good people in the world. And that's the thing with the Generation Z. They're a happier group of people. They're just happy and just free spirit and just la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. My generation is a little bit more hardened, a little bit more angrier, a lot less trustworthy. Shout out to Great Polo for that super chat. Great Polo said the likes need to get up. Get those likes up. Hit the like button. Y'all want these cook-ups, man. Y'all got to make sure y'all hit the like button. But I think that's the other issue with a lot of young people, and this is why they get misled. And then this is, you can kind of directly associate that with the influencers. It's not taking the time to invest in understanding and learning business. Like, I don't understand why this young generation just refuses to educate themselves. They rather pay people to give them this information and then just run with it. Like so many of these young people have told me, man, Mark, I'd rather just pay somebody, because then they watch. See, here's the finesse. Let me break to you down the finesse. The big time influencer marketing people that you guys see, like your Ty Lopez's and them, they offer courses for other people who want to become influencers in their sectors on how to get people to buy into whatever it is that they're selling. And one of the things that they tell people to do is to train people into thinking that time is valuable. Don't waste time educating yourself. Just pay someone who has the education, and then they can give it to you. And then now you saved a bunch of time educating yourself. You just bought the information, and then you can go and apply it. And that's the biggest crock of bullshit that I've ever heard in my life. Because we've seen now, right, thanks to the pandemic and thanks to the boom of different industries, one of them like trucking, and it also brought a boom in influencers, right? Because the advertisers were paying YouTube a lot more in ad dollars, and that's why you saw a lot of influencers go from regular people to rich during that time period, and a lot of them are back broke again. You have to sell people on the idea that your time is valuable. Don't waste time educating yourself on whatever it is that you want to invest into. Just pay someone that's smart already in that to get the information from them. So then when I talk to these young people and I say, man, why you didn't do the research? Well, man, why'd you go pay this person that, why did you believe this person was going to bring you value when you see that they entered into this industry at the same time you did? And they say, well, man, Mark, my time is valuable. I'd rather just pay someone, well, that I thought had the information so that I can get it from them, so that I can save time, and then I can just apply that information that they gave me. It's bullshit. Educating yourself is going to be the best thing, and then coupling that with experiences. So taking the information that you learn, going out in the field and applying that, and then getting that in-field experience and coupling that with the information that you research, the book information, the information, the data that you're looking to collect, the data that you're looking to seek, the information that you acquire when you're doing your business plan, the information that you acquire when you're doing your market research, understanding that it's imperative that you know how much it costs you to run your business, because that's going to be one of the pillars and keys to your success. Understanding what cost per mile is and why that's important. But people rather just go pay. I talked to someone the other day in the Discord, young guy, 22, bought a course, $3,000 recently, last month, from a kid. Listen, let me tell y'all something too. If you are young, what do you think a person that's wet behind the ears and just as naive as you can give you? What type of value do you think they can give you? And to all you old folks that come in that talk to me that went and bought these courses from some of these kids, not some of the courses that you bought from the older people that you got taken advantage of. Listen, I hold you more accountable for being 40-something, 35, 38, 39, 50, 47, 48, and then you go buy something from someone that's in their 20s. What type of value do you think they're going to bring you? Honestly, what type of experience do you think someone that's ain't even 5 years removed from high school can show you how to be a millionaire in trucking? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. But then when I tell you this, you have this look on your face. You right. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I just got so caught up in the excitement of starting my business. And see, that's that emotion shit that we talked about yesterday. It took another person to tell you and break shit down for you to realize how foolish of a decision that you made. There's no way on God's green earth I'm buying no information from someone that's young enough to be my son. Ain't shit they can tell me, nothing. And if they know something, I can figure it out on my own. Like, ain't nothing no kid can tell me about life. I'm looking at this one kid that y'all going spending money with. This kid is making content from his bedroom, but told you he made 1.1. Y'all can't tell that's his bedroom? But then you come tell me about how you invested in it. And now you feel bad because you got taken up a ride. Well, man, what you mean you don't know cost per mile? The other day, someone, you don't know, you never heard of cost per mile until you start watching my content, but you just said you bought a $3,000 mentorship last month. That wasn't included in that. So you mean to tell me nowhere in that $3,000 mentorship that you took did y'all discuss cost per mile? Mark, no. Hit the like button. So you would go invest in someone who doesn't understand business. You don't understand business, and then you invested into someone who doesn't understand business. You invested into someone who doesn't even understand this business. It's the second biggest reason people fail, especially young people. Failure to understand business, a failure to understand what they've invested in. And I say this all the time. This is for everybody. This isn't directly associated with just young people. This is everybody. Most of the people who invest into this business don't understand. They don't have any. How many times lately have people come up and said, the other day, there's a guy who came up on the last call in show episode 30, and he's an owner operating a semi truck and said, Mark, I didn't know what cost per mile was until I started watching your content. He's operating a goddamn tractor. But then I get challenged on the smoke show about how I present the facts. If you don't take the time to understand what you are investing in, that's your second biggest mistake, young crowd. Because you never knew about the box truck industry until you was on social media. Social media is what led you to this industry. That's why I put that number one. And even when it led you to it and it sparked your interest, the next thing that you should have done was educated yourself, but you didn't. You rather go and pay that famous influencer the money, and they didn't know. This is why you out here stuck like Chuck. You would never have to come and click the link to be held accountable if you would have done what's in your best interest and educated yourself on what you invested in. All right, let's go into part 3, the myth of passive income. There was a recent clip that I dropped of a young man who thought he can go out and I don't know what James Elmer is referring to. I don't know what James Elmer is referring to, but why don't you substantiate what you're talking about? Let's talk about the myth of passive income. We dropped a clip a couple weeks ago. Young guy who thought it would be simple to acquire 3 rental trucks. And he's not the only one. We see this all the time. With minimum resources, minimum capital, and he would be able to come in with 3 trucks and run them. He did some calculations in his head or on paper or whatever, and he's looking at a total number that he's going to make every week with 3 trucks. The reason why he had was so fixated with 3 trucks is because he's looking at a bigger number. He wants to make a bigger number. Never ran a truck a day in his life. Doesn't know what it entails to run a truck. Obviously, as you guys saw on that clip, how I had to get him together. Hopefully, I saved him from failure. But his whole plan was to run those 3 trucks for passive income. Each truck was going to be a form of passive income. A lot of people, when I go back and I do research on past content, the content that was being put out during the pandemic, this was one of the things that, you know, they used to get people to buy in, that and generational wealth. And when you're starting a box truck business, one, you need to be out there in the field, and two, the margins are small. Like, in order to get passive income, like, you have to be scaled up, tenured, and experienced. There's no way you're going to be doing whatever it is that you're doing currently and be able to go out, purchase a truck, and think it's going to be as simple as purchasing a truck or renting a truck, hiring a driver, and running the road, and just money is going to be coming in. Whoever that is in the back, give me a few minutes. You can continue to watch the show from the back room, and I'll bring you up. But I want to finish my bullet points before I do so. You can chill in the back and watch, and I'll bring you up. That whole passive income thing, that's far from the truth. It's not that simple. Finding a driver, one, and keeping a driver is difficult today. The margins are small. A lot of people didn't understand that once they rented the truck, the costs that are associated with financing the truck or renting the truck, the variable costs that are associated with it, plus now hiring a driver, a lot of people realize there's no money. There's no extra money. So where is the passive income? Passive income is at scale. In order to scale, you got to be experienced. How do you get the experience? Getting out there and doing it yourself, learning the industry over time, and then growing. This is not an industry where, and listen, I'm willing to debate anybody. Link is always pinned to the top of the chat. Listen, link is always pinned to the top of the chat. Does it pin to the top of the chat? No, it's not pinned to the top of the chat. All right, let's pin it to the top of the chat. With the costs that are associated with it now, what a lot of people realize is that the passive income that was perpetuated by some of your favorite people was a myth. You got people that are owner-operators that are running their own truck that can't get to this promised land that some of your favorite people are perpetuating. So if a person is running their own truck and they ain't living like the way the people is making it seem like they living, with the cars and the Airbnbs and all that shit, what makes you think you gonna put a driver in that, which is gonna add another cost, which is gonna lower your margin or possibly put you in the red? What makes you think you're gonna be able to make it another stream of revenue, which equates to passive income? How do you think you're going to do it when you have no experience in the industry at all? How are you going to navigate your truck to this passive income? No. You can do it, but it's going to be at scale, and it's going to take time. And the way you get to it is by getting out there yourself and building it. Let's get back to the the influencers a little bit because I talked about social media, and with social media that includes influencers, but let's stick directly with influencers and courses. A lot of these courses are Googleable. A lot of the information on a lot of this stuff is Googleable. Like that's why I say, listen, don't come up asking me no Googleable stuff. Like I don't got time for Googleable stuff. You're talking to a guy who's damn near 15 years in this industry. Googleable stuff you can Google. If I'm offering you my time and I'm not charging you, right? And you can come up here and pick my brain, don't you think it makes more sense to ask a person who's tenured more intermediate and or advanced questions? Why would you want to waste my time on some information that you can get on your own? Don't waste my time. That's why I say don't ask me no dumb shit. And then you get mad when I say it because I'm holding you accountable because you're too lazy to go do what's in your best interest. The purpose of talking to someone who's experienced is because you want to utilize that conversation to get the things that you can't get on Google. And this is why I won't allow you to talk to me about Googleable shit. And then you say I'm this person and I'm that person because I'm making you work. I'm not going to let you use me for shit that you can go figure out on your own. I'm going to make you work. A lot of these courses and shit that you buy is generic information. A lot of the courses that you buy, you can go on Fiverr and buy it yourself for $5 or $10. I already told you where the shit is coming from. Go on Fiverr, some Pakistani or some Nigerian selling, type in trucking courses. They're going to sell it for $5 or $10. It's going to be generic shit that they already done pulled off of Google. And what happens is they buy it from Fiverr, they repackage it or rebrand it, and then sell it to you with their branding for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. That's the finesse. So if you want to buy generic general information, just go on Fiverr and buy it for $5 or $10. Why would you pay something? But see, then this goes back to what I said the other day when we talked about transparency and people get mad. And I say, yo, there'll never be transparency. And why would you want transparency anyway? That's a scapegoat. That's a they moment. Because here's the thing, you can't knock that person because they were smart. If I see something that's already done that I was going to do anyway, but I was going to sit there and copy and paste the shit and type the shit out. But if it's already done and I can buy it for $5 or $10 and just slap my logo on it and sell it to you for 3,000% markup and you buy it, you set the value on it. You can't get mad at that person. Because one, the information is available to you for free anyway. So you don't even have to go to Fiverr and buy it for $5 or $10. You can just buy it you can just get it for free on Google. So there's a level of misleading, but then again, there's a level of ignorance as well. Things are oversimplified when you listen to these people talk. When I talk to people and they tell me about their experiences with people that they buy into, hit the like button, hit the like button. Everything seems simple. And that goes back to what I said earlier. Mark, when I first started watching your content, you make everything seem hard, but I realized this shit is hard. But that's why I didn't like you, because everybody else that I was watching makes everything seem so simple. And then when I bought their information, I bought their course, or I bought their mentorship, or I bought their a coaching call, or whatever the case may be, they gave me a bunch of information that I already knew on Google. They sold you on, and they sold you on an illusion to buy whatever it is that they were selling. And guess what? Once they got your money, and then you got that Googleable shit, you mad. You bought into something that was marketed to look simple. And once again, I'm going to tell you again, I don't think, and I haven't, listen, I could be wrong, but anything that I've done that I've had success in, it didn't come easy. It didn't come simple. We could talk about business down to goddamn being a kid and trying to beat Super Mario Brothers. It wasn't easy to beat Super Mario Brothers. It took time to get to level 8. And when I got to level 8, I didn't beat King Koopa the first time. It took a while to beat King Koopa. I remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Man, I didn't just flip that game right away. I've never had any level of success easy. So y'all young people, y'all got to stop buying into this oversimplified marketing. Let me show you how to run it up in the box truck business. Let me show you how I made 1.2 million last year. And then they be talking all loud and sounding all nice about, man, come on in, guys. Thanks for coming to the channel. Let me show you how I made $1.2 million in the box truck business. What's up, guys? Let me show you how I moved this one pallet 3 miles and I got $10 million. And then you so green, you just run off with it. Listen, if it sounds too good to be true, then it is, period. Stop being misguided. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is a bad person. There are good people out there. There are people that aren't looking to mislead you for their financial gain. There are people out there that want what's best for people. There are people out there that spend their time to provide their experiences and their tenure to people who are less experienced, right? Who are less tenured. There's people out there. You just have to find those people. Those people do exist. There's people that I watch and I listen to. And then there's people that I come across that I know is full of shit. In business, you have to decipher good from bad. What's good for your business and what's bad for your business. And if you're not at that point, then it's not going to go well for you. All right? If you allow something that sounds too good to be true infiltrate you, or you buy into it, and then I say, why would you do this? This person is a kid. What makes you think, what do you think a kid is going to get? You be like, damn, you know what? You right. What type of business decisions, once you get into the thick of business, like, you think you're going to be able to problem solve real serious business issues if you allow a kid to upsell you on some dumb shit? And it's just not kids doing it. You got old people out here doing this shit too. You got people in their 40s doing it, people in their 50s doing it, people in their 30s doing this shit. There's no barrier to entry to be able to create a YouTube or Instagram. There's no licensing involved. So anybody can just pop up and say, oh, let me show you how to do this in this industry. You got to be able to decipher a person that really knows what they're talking about. And that shit just doesn't come over in one day or watching a few videos. You got to listen to how a person talks. You got to listen to how a person expounds on certain things. You have to talk and ask this person questions to see how well versed they are in this industry. I'm not going to buy something from someone that's still new in this industry. I don't give a listen. 3, 4, 5 years ain't enough. The same year, it ain't enough. And that's facts. They get mad because it's taken away from I guess they feel like because I'm shitting on them, right? Because this is their time period in the space and they're selling products and I'm telling people they shouldn't buy it. So I understand that. But it's the truth. When you look at it from a consumer perspective, would you hire someone to do your floors that just started? I wouldn't. I like to give this scenario. If I'm fighting a case and my life is dependent on it, because when you start a business, your life is on the line. This is your livelihood. You've invested your money. Hit the like button. I'm cooking and y'all ain't hitting the like button. If you are fighting a case and your life is on the line, you want the lawyer that's been practicing law for 25, 30 years that has a proven track record. This person got a proven track record. This person done got people off that's done got caught with the dope. They done got red-handed with the dope, but the lawyer was able to find the technicality and get the case thrown out because they didn't announce that they was the police or they didn't have a search warrant when they searched the car. Even though they saw him with the dope, the lawyer got him off. And this is proven. This is a fact. We can go look at the cases. Man, Goldberg, Cole, 25, 30 years, and he getting the dope boys off. Or you going to get the guy that just literally passed the bar 6 months ago. Your life on the line. Which guy you gonna pay? Which guy you're going to consult with? Which guy are you going to hire? Even if they're going to represent you for free, your life is on the line. Forget money. Take money out the equation. They're gonna represent you for free because you got this case that they know if they get you off, their career, even if it's already catapulted, it's gonna really go to the next level. So they listen, we're gonna represent you for free. Your life is on the line now. And money ain't no issue. Who you gonna get? The guy who just passed the bar 6 months ago? Or you gonna get Goldberg that's 25 years in and he got a proven track record? I know who I would hire. I know who I would feel more comfortable with. Now, I'm not saying this for you to compare people who to consume content from. I'm using this as an example of when you seek information and you're going to purchase it, are you going to spend an exorbitant amount of money with a person that is still fairly new? And the reason I'm talking about this is because you guys get so upset and you complain and you like to throw people under the bus, right? When you purchase this shit and then you feel like you didn't learn shit or you feel like the information was Googleable. And I never blame it on those people. I always say, well, here's the person's resume. The resume shows you that the person is still fairly new in the industry. What do you expect? You can't get mad at a person for taking advantage of an opportunity. You don't have to buy it. But what you didn't do is you didn't use good business sense to look at the overall situation and see that, this person literally just started a year ago or the same year, 2 years or 3 years ago. This person is still navigating and learning. I'm not going to spend this much money with someone who I consider still a novice in this industry. So, but I get why young people can be misled by that. But, young people, stop it. All right, debt. Now, here's a way, not a how, but a why. Starting off with debt. A lot of young people don't really have a bag. So they start off in debt. This is why they come up and they believe they can start with $3,000. This is why they believe they can start with $4,000 and $5,000. If you got that type of money, you're going to spend that money and then you're still going to be broke. If you got that type of money, you already broke. You still broke with $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. You're going to spend that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get in because these are the words. Get in with $3,000, get in with $4,000, get in with $5,000. Then when you spend that money to get in, you have no cash flow. Mark, what's cash flow? I never heard nobody say cash flow, Mark, until I started watching your content. Well, let me explain to you what cash flow is, young man or young woman. that wants to come into the box truck business, this is what you need in order for your business to sustain. So yeah, if you get in some type of way because you follow some blueprint on renting a truck for $3,000-$4,000 and you get all your authority and everything, you're ready to go, and you got just enough gas money to pick up your first load, you a broke business. You have no cash flow. So if anything happens, you're done. You have no money to withstand shit. You ain't got no money to withstand the learning curve. You ain't got no money to withstand the goddamn weather. You ain't got no money to withstand shit. You can't even wash your ass. If you went to the damn place and they charged you to wash your ass, you ain't got no cash flow. So you gonna be funky than a month. You ain't got shit. And guess what? A business cannot operate without cash flow. So, like I always say, since I've been coming here on YouTube, if you have just enough money to get in, it's not enough money. So if you have that mentality, oh, well, man, all it takes is $3,000 and that's all I got, you don't have enough money. If you have just enough money, it's not enough money. See, your favorite people ain't going to tell you that. They're going to sell you on the illusion, young people, that this is all you need to get the riches. This is all you need. Just come up with this small amount, and then I'm going to show you how to get to the riches. All right, you come up with that small amount, you ain't even got enough money to even get to the first load. For you older people that do that dumb shit, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Why? You got older people that come into this industry that follow these blueprints of these people. They come up with just enough money. They get in. They already have the business to sustain, but they're older, so they have children and significant others at home. They have a livelihood to sustain at home as well. Had a situation like this the other day, even though he was young guy, young family, box truck business, $2,000. Either way, you're screwed. If something happens with that business with no cash flow, you're done. If something happens at home, you're a young family, the furnace goes out. In the wintertime, that little money that you got or no money at all, you're done. It don't matter. Pick your poison. You come into this business, no cash flow. You come in with just enough to get in, no cash flow, something gonna happen. It ain't Mark being pessimistic. It ain't Mark being negative. It's real. Shit happens. You on the road, something happens with the business, no cash flow, no, you're done. Something that happens at home while you're running the business, no cash flow, you're done. When you come in with a business, to start a business, you have to have excess money to withstand whatever it is to come from the business side or the home side. Look what happened a few years ago down in Texas. Imagine being a new owner operator that lived in Texas, and then the grid or something go out and everything was frozen down there and people's electric was off. What would happen in a situation like that? It's going to be some money is going to be associated with it, where you left town and prior to it happened or during it happened, you had to sleep in a hotel. You got to send money home so your people can get out of there. What happens is your furnace goes out at home. What happens if your truck breaks down while you're on the road? Anything can happen. You can't start a business in debt. This is why I tell people, listen, start with what you have and build up your capital. And then you come back with all these schemes and scams of these people on the line that's said all this goofball shit that I don't understand. Go to this bank and get them, put some cash in, then get a money order and take that money order to Walmart and cash the money order there. And they're going to give you the money with that, but then go to the ATM and deposit the money back into the account and then transfer that over to your savings, into your credit card, and then pull that money out. And now you got all this crazy ass shit that I don't even understand what this shit is. These shorties come up here and try to explain this shit to me and I just be lost. I be lost because to me it sounds like you just moving the same money all the way around. It sounds like you losing money because ain't you paying fees when you move? To me, I don't get it. The best way to start a business like this is to start from humble beginnings, start with what you have, work your way up, build your capital, and come in with cash. Now, I know people are going to tell you other things, and the link is always pinned to the top of the chat. But I have case studies, me being one of them, of why this method works. People don't realize, even if you take out a personal loan and then loan that business the money, you just created another debt for yourself. You just created another debt on a business that operates on small margins. Your favorite person didn't tell you that, did they? Young man or young woman. They don't talk about margins. Why? Because when they get to talking about these things, if they are this tenured in the space, it's going to deter you from buying into whatever it is that they're selling. See, their money is made off of you on the front end, not the back end. Their money is made on you off the front end, not the back end. This is why you shouldn't come in with that. This is why people that did come in with that and went and did all this crazy ass shit and borrowed money and this, that, and the third. There's another scenario. I'm having a conversation. I'm consulting somebody in the Discord. Another individual took out a $150,000 loan during the pandemic. Where's the money? No money. In debt. Start with what you have with minimal operation cost. Work your way up over a period of time while you're growing and you're learning and you're gaining knowledge. Your money, your capital is growing as well. You're allocating that money for your future growth. And then you just do like that versus coming in up here with minimal knowledge, not knowing how to properly allocate this money that you borrowed personally and you done loaned it to the business because you think it's simple because your favorite person told you it was going to be. And now, because you don't know how to allocate this money, you're misappropriating it. And the business isn't going up. The money is coming down and down and down and down. And you got that bill to pay too. You just added another bill to yourself. This is why I say it's best to come in with cash. And it's debatable. I'm willing to debate it. Not accounting for the true cost of business, this box truck business. And this is kind of goes back to what I said as far as coming in with the $5,000 or the $4,000 or the $3,000. It takes a lot of money to operate this type of business. You have to plan and prepare for the unforeseen, right? A lot of these numbers that some of your favorite people throw out are just, fictional. Not saying that some of these numbers can't be, you can't make this type of money. You can, but I think a lot of people see these big numbers and they think they're going to make this money instantly, and they think they're going to make it with one truck. This business costs a lot of money to operate. I've had people come up that haven't paid taxes, that have been doing it since the pandemic, still haven't paid taxes. You got people that come up that are not paying their people properly. I tell them that they're misclassifying their employees. They want to argue me and tell me they're not. Then they want to say they don't even know what misclassification is. You got people that work for them that they put on 1099s instead of having them fill out a W-4 so they can get a W-2. They haven't filled out a W-9. So they're not paying quarterly taxes. They're not paying into Social Security. They're not paying unemployment insurance. They're not bookkeeping. I had a young lady 2 weeks ago. I ain't seen her. Had to hold her accountable. Not properly calculating their books properly, making up these equations, and then when you ask them, like, where'd you come up with that code? Well, I just thought. Well, you say you watch my content. That's not, well, I know that's not what you said, but I just thought. It costs a lot of money to run this business. This is why I always say the margins are small. And then what happens is a lot of people come into this business and they just want to give their money away. They want to get their money away to dispatchers and lease on people, and they come up and say, I'm paying 40% to this person, I'm paying 30% to that person. Why you want to give all these people your money when the margins are already small enough? So whatever little profit that you have, you giving it away to somebody else. Not accounting for mechanical incidents. This is why I said in the previous bullet point, you shouldn't come in broke. You never know when a situation is going to happen, especially if you have to take care of something back at home. You got a family at home, because anything can happen. It could be in business or it could be back at home. It costs a lot of money to run this business. A lot of money. And where people, young people, old people too, make the mistake is once they pay their fixed costs and their variable costs that they think are the cost, they always don't account for certain things, right? We see that all the time. Whatever's left, they think is theirs, and there's not, because they don't know what cash flow is. They never heard of this. They don't understand it. So they end up taking whatever's left and spending that. They have a broke business. They have temporary money because they're going to go spend it and do what's not in their best interest. And then once they spend it on the personal side, they're broke. The business is already broke, and now they're chasing the next load, not understanding that the business should always have cash flow. If you have to sacrifice not paying yourself to make sure that the business is cash flow positive, then guess what? That's what you signed up for. There's going to be time periods where you may not be able to pay yourself. That's what you signed up for. The business should always have cash flow. I've never seen a real business that was broke and the person, that main principal, has money. If the business is broke, then whoever the principal of that business is, the CEO or the president, should be just as broke. There's no way that you should have $1,500 in your personal account or $1,000 in your personal account and the business has $5. If that is how your shit is set up right now, you're doing this shit absolutely wrong. And the main reason a lot of people get into this situation is because they really didn't understand what it costs to run this business to begin with, because it leads back to bullet point 1. They were sold a dream that they bought into, or they followed the allure that they see on social media of what the box truck business can bring you, which can be true, but it's not going to be true instantly. It's going to take years. It's going to take educating yourself. It's going to take strategy. And to be able to obtain all the tools required to get you to that point, it's not going to happen in 12 months. So you got to really understand what it really costs to run this business. And everything starts and ends with, like I always say, educating yourself. You got to educate yourself. All right? You don't have to pay anybody to Get basic information. If you're gonna look for information that you need to get more intermediate or advanced information, then you need to find people that you can consume good quality information from, and you need to vet those people out accordingly. Those people exist. There's people that are tenured in this space. There's people that are tenured in the semi trucking space. I see tenured people in the cargo van space. It's just the tenured people, the experienced people are telling you what it really is, and the mass majority don't like the truth because the truth seems hard. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? Mark. My name Mark. I'm from New Haven, Connecticut.
What's going on, bro?
Um, Nothing much, man. I don't know if people really appreciate what you're saying, bro. I'm sitting here listening to you, and you really giving like the real, like I'm not gonna lie. I first started listening, and cause I've been driving trucks, company driver. I don't own my own business yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been driving trucks for about last 5 years, whatever. And I'm finally at a point where I want to do this on my own terms. Eventually, I want to get out the truck, but right now I know that I'm in a position where I can't really get out the truck if I wanted to, like I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to. So, I'm a hard worker. I'm the type of guy show up on time, keep my head down, go home, do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people really appreciate what you're saying. Like I got my little plan, and I think it's a decent plan. I'm not gonna start even looking for a truck until I got at least 30 grand to do so. Probably finance, and then get my DOT, my insurance, and then start moving from there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I definitely did want to pick your brain, but I appreciate everything you saying first of all because I've like I said, I first started looking at getting my own box truck, and when I was looking, I was broke for real. I mean, I still am mostly broke, but I was looking at trying to get a hold on, my Wi-Fi lagging. I'm sorry. I don't know if you
We hear you. We hear you.
get a rental,
Mm-hmm.
and I started shopping around, looking at different rental prices, and I see how expensive it is. And I said, how I'm supposed to how am
We lost you, big dog. We lost you, big dog. You was cooking for a minute. If you moved, you need to go back to wherever room you was in. All right, we lost you. I'm gonna give him a second to come back up. Until then, I'm gonna go over these super chats. Shout out to Great Polo for that super chat.
Sweet.
All right, and then I think Costas. All right, here we go. I see Costas dropped some members only, gifted some membership. So appreciate you, Costas, as well. All right, you back, you back, you back.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, so like I was saying, I was gonna go ahead and get a rental, but I was telling myself, why would I get a rental if I'm gonna have so much overhead and I still gotta pay the rental costs plus all these other stuff, and it's gonna be tough the first 6 months with a brand new DOT. So I don't think people understand that part of it. I think people really looking at the stuff that you're saying. Oh, I made 10 grand this week in a box truck, only going 5,000 miles, only going 500 miles, and people really is getting it taken advantage of. And I like to just say I appreciate what you doing out here. You know, really
Appreciate you for
telling the
watching.
truth to people and telling people what it really is. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I got home, I was like, I'm gonna just wait till I got about 30, 35, 40 grand saved up. And I'm a hard worker, so it's not like I'm gonna be trying to take shortcuts and do try to get rich quick schemes. It's gonna be some weeks you're gonna hit a home run, and then there's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
some weeks that go by where you just maintaining the business. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I got mostly from listening to you a lot. And yeah, that's just how I feel.
Okay. I appreciate you. What, you an owner operator? You got CDL, you said, right?
Yeah, I got my class A.
Okay. Where you say you from again?
I live in Spartanburg, South Carolina, but I'm from New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay. Yeah, man. If you want to get into the industry, man, just take your time, man. Make sure you got enough capital, fully understand what you're getting into and the risk that's associated with it. And just really prepare yourself uh, for what business entails, both for the business perspective and at home, because it's a sacrifice. So you got to make sure that whatever lifestyle that you have at home, you're gonna still be able to cover that. And if not, then you got a decision to make. Are you gonna delay and cut back, or what are you gonna do? You're gonna stay at work? All these things are things that people need to think about. And I just think people don't think about every single little thing, you know, um, nor do they fully, invest the time into fully understanding what they getting into. Right? I think people think that starting a business is just you start it, and what I think people think is when they work for companies, they see the presidents and they see the CEOs and they see the top level executives, they see them wearing the nice suits, they see them driving the nice cars and things of that nature, and I think they automatically associate every business as successful when there are plenty of businesses that fail. More small businesses fail than anything. There's people that fail every damn business. You know what I'm saying? And the sacrifices that you got to make, right, in order to withstand a lot of that learning curve and a lot of those early days in business, it can be a lot. Sometimes it can be overbearing. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of time that's associated with building a business at the beginning. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of long days, a lot of lonely days, a lot of frustration. Um, I was frustrated a lot because back when I was getting started, I didn't have anybody in my family or friends that were entrepreneurs that I could bounce ideas off of. This didn't exist. There was live streaming hadn't even been invented yet. There were no such thing as influencers. Like all the information that I could get was textbook. I wasn't blessed to have entrepreneurial people in my family. So all my information came from a textbook and trial and error. But where I don't want to say I got lucky, but where be, because I started from humble beginnings, I didn't have this exorbitant operation costs. So if I would have just, let's say, came into some money, or let's say borrowed some money, and I would have started with a 26-foot box truck or a 16-foot box truck or a cargo van back at the beginning, 9.5 times out of 10 I would have failed. But because I started with what I had, I utilized what I had, and I leveraged what I had, I didn't have those operational costs. So I was able to learn for free. And I just grew from there. I didn't have exorbitant over operational costs. Um, I didn't, my mistakes didn't cost me. So I was making money, and I was able to stack my money and just continue to grow while I was learning. And as I mentally grew, the money just kept growing. And then I just kept
Okay,
working
you
my
you
way
said
up.
Okay, you said that you was able to grow and learn like that because you didn't have too much overhead and that you was able to cut your costs in the beginning.
Exactly. So it was really just money coming in. The only money I really had going out was fuel and labor cost, right? At the very beginning, I didn't even have material. I didn't have nothing but this my truck. So and that was paid for. So you can associate the insurance, right? But that the fuel and I was paying my helper $10 an hour. But that was customers were paying that because I was charging X amount per hour. So I was profiting off the labor. So there was not much money going out other than fuel and labor costs. And by me being on the truck, I was getting tips. So majority of my tips covered the cost of what my labor was. So on average, I could make anywhere $60 to $100 a day in tips, and my labor would cost around about $100 a day. So I just was taking my tip money, because he was keeping his tip money, right? And I was just taking my tip
Okay.
money and paying him. So the gross revenue that was pretty much coming in day to day, I got to keep it all because I was just using my tip money to pay my labor cost.
Okay.
Now, if I would have started with a truck, I wouldn't have had the knowledge. I would have started at a more advanced tier. I didn't know how to maneuver things. There's a lot of things that it took me years to learn that I wasn't held accountable for by starting with what I had because I was dealing with a consumer that was comfortable hiring someone of a novice stature because they were looking to save money. They didn't have furniture that required a premium, more experienced mover or delivery a company. They were just more concerned with getting shit from point A to point B at the cheapest cost because they were renting a room, they were in a renting this little room, or their furniture was hand me down, dumpster diver stuff, IKEA, and it was during a time period where people were losing everything. So I was dealing with that type of consumer whose shit was damaged and scratched and they didn't care about it anyway. Their main concern was getting this shit from here to there. So if I nicked something or I dented something or I scratched something because my lack of experience, I wasn't held accountable because the customer didn't care anyway. They found me on Craigslist. They weren't looking for two men in a truck. They were looking for Mark with a pickup truck. And they knew what came along with it. Anybody that knows you have a pickup truck, that should just let you know if the person's willing to put their shit on the back of a pickup truck, then that's the type of consumer that I was dealing with, right? And dealing with that type of consumer allowed me to learn everything that I needed to know to become a premium service moving company and eventually diversify into a final mile trucking company. Now, if I would have started up here, let's say I would have came across the money, I would have borrowed it, I would have borrowed money, whatever the case may be, and I would have started up here with a 26-foot truck, my claims would have been through the roof because there would have been a customer base that would have been calling a person who's marketing themselves as a licensed company with a 26-foot truck. I'd have been doing 3-bedroom homes. I would have just been messing stuff up because I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have nothing. Right? And guess what? While I was learning, I would have had a truck note associated with it or a rental note associated with it. I would have had commercial insurance associated with it. I would have had workers' comp associated with it. I would have had insurance associated with it. I would have had labor costs associated with it, material costs associated with it. And because I was not knowledgeable, I would have had claims.
Okay.
So
So would you? All right. So one question: Would you think it would be a detriment, or it would just take a person of a certain mindset to go ahead and jump into 26 foot and get insurance and all that stuff, DOT, and start moving loads?
I
Would that
wouldn't
be a
say it.
detriment?
I wouldn't say it's a detriment, but me, I always tell people start from the bottom and work your way up. I think 26-foot truck. How old are you?
32.
I think 26-foot truck I think it's too advanced for a lot of people. I think people don't really know what comes along with operating that equipment. Coming in up here, I think there's a lot of learning that a person should do prior to coming in. And I can't say that with everybody. Like, I have subscribers who are older and retired, and they have money to come in up there and withstand the learning curve. We've seen some of these people come up. They just throw the money around. They looking for something to do, a hobby. But if you're young and you have to withstand this learning curve and you don't have a nice bag of money to withstand it, now I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I never tell people what they should or shouldn't do. But I think everybody should start from the basics. I think a 26-foot truck, I think it's advanced, especially with the mindset of a lot of people in your age category today. I think there's a lot of things that deter you guys' mind from focusing on what you need to focus on. I think there's a lot of distractions that you guys have to deal with that also deters you from focusing on what you need to focus on. I think, I think it's better to come in from a lower level and then ultimately work your way up. I don't think it'll be a detriment, but I don't know what your finances look like. I don't know what your home situation looks like. I don't know mentally where you're at. I don't know how much you're willing to sacrifice. I don't know how hard you're willing to go. Pause. So,
I mean, I talked to my wife a lot about it, and she's on board with it. But I had to let her know that, like, listen, when you starting off, especially at the bottom in this business, especially listening to your videos, and I got most of this information from you. And I told her, like, if I'm going to start off in this business, it's going to be it might be, I might not be home for a week, 2 weeks. I'm out there trying to get what I got to do, especially starting off in the beginning. But that's just the type of person I am, and I was just letting her know what it is, and but that's just, like I said, that's just the type of person I am. I'm not a person that skips steps, you know what I mean? I'm willing to go through every emotion in order to really get out the truck.
Well, you shouldn't go through
But
no emotions. You must have watched yesterday's live stream. You shouldn't go through no emotions. You can't be emotional in business at
now I
all.
understand,
Emotions will get you ate up out here.
now you was talking about the learning curve, so I mean, I figure it gotta come with some type of emotion.
Nah, you going win and you going to lose. But when you lose, you can't be sitting here complaining and pouting and running to the internet and placing blames. You got to suck that shit up. That's the point of being a business owner. I done had all type of shit happen in business. I done talked about some of the shit. You know what I'm saying? But I had to solve the issue. It didn't come with no emotions and no feelings. It just came with solutions. You got kids?
I help my wife take care of her daughter.
So, and how much you make on your job?
I'm making $1,500 a week right now.
How much does that equal out to a year? I ain't got my calculator pulled up. Hold on, 1,500 a week. 1,500 a week. You
Maybe.
said.
Yeah.
You don't know what you grossed last year? You don't know what you grossed last year? About 78,000.
Working another job, probably about 55, 60 grand.
So you got a plan to come into this industry, this box truck industry?
Yeah, I got a plan.
So you got a CDL, right?
Yeah, I got a Class A.
And you do what you drive locally?
Yeah, I drive local. I drive about 3 hours one way and 3 hours back every day going to the port. Got a little
Okay.
twit car picking up port.
But you want to leverage, you want to quit working a CDL job to get a box truck and run OTR.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it a lot, and I'm like, damn, like if I don't got no sleeper, what I'm gonna do? But like I said, I'm willing to sacrifice. And I did a couple number crunching, and I figured one truck, me by myself, I make about 70 grand a year with that one box truck.
Let me ask you a question. Why you wanna quit your job and start a business?
I'm trying to build up my own wealth in order to eventually leave out of at least get out the truck and be able to build
No, no,
in
no.
other
Why do you
aspects.
want to start a business? Why do you want to start a business? You giving me a plan. I want to know what is
Because
your
I want to
reasoning for
do this on my own terms. So,
you
instead
want to
of
do
being on
what
my
on
boss terms,
you want to do what on
I
your
could
own
be on my
terms?
own doing
That's not
trucking.
that's not a good reason to start a business. That's the same reason that everybody says when I ask them that. There he goes. There he goes. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. I'm only gonna keep it to you funky. I'm only gonna give it to you funky. I just said this shit yesterday. I guess he hung up when I told him that ain't a good reason. I don't know. It's not a good reason. Oh, there you go. Oh, no, you don't. That's not a good reason. I said it yesterday. Everybody says that reason. It's not why you start a business. That's not a good reason. That reason is based off of feeling, emotion. You're feeling, you're tired of working for somebody. That's not a reason why you like, no. We just had this conversation yesterday. If you want to come back, you can come back. So many people give that reason today. And it's hold on. We can't see you, bro. That reason is contagious.
My bad.
I can't see you, big dog.
You can hear me?
I I can hear you. We just can't see you. But go ahead and cook up. Go ahead. You muted yourself. You muted
Let me
yourself.
see. My bad.
Go ahead. Just cook up. We can hear you. Just go ahead. Talk.
Nah, I was saying that, I'm really ready to, I'm trying to build something, and I know that what I know mostly, what my best skill as it pertain to working, and the quickest thing I could get going is doing trucking. So I'm
I,
working hard for these
I,
other people. I could work
okay.
hard for myself.
That's not a good reason. That's not why you start a business. What information have you researched? See, you start a reason based off data. Do the numbers make sense? Because business is about numbers. It's not about feelings, bro. How you feel about what you can do for yourself versus what you're doing for somebody else, that's a feeling based off an emotion. And you don't do anything around business based off feelings and emotions. Business people make decisions based off data, numbers. Does the numbers make sense to enter into this business at this particular time or not? Look, I crunched the numbers, and based on how I would enter, it makes sense for me to enter into this business. I don't do things, me personally. I mean, you could do what you want based off of feeling, because I don't don't do business based off emotions and feelings because that'll get you in trouble in business. I look at sectors, right? And I look at numbers. If I'm investing into a company, I look at the short-term projections, I look at the long-term projections. Am I entering into investing in this company early enough that I'm going to get a good return on my investment in a year or 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? I don't say, listen, I'm going to invest into Rivian because I feel like I'm going to make some money from it. Nah, I've done the research and the data that I've collected from doing my research says, listen, I can get a good 5% return on my investment in 3 years if I invest X amount of dollars into this company. I don't say I feel like it because business isn't based off feeling. It's based off numbers and it's based off data. So if you want to come into this business because you feel a certain type of way, you can still do it. I'm not telling you what to and what not to do, but I think you need to do a little bit more research and don't put emotion into it because emotions, look how many people got into this industry because they had an emotion associated with it over the past few years. And look how many horror stories we hear. Not one person that came up that said, yo, they started a box truck business because the data, because look, if they would have looked at the data and they would have did the research and the data would have told them that they were in the midst of a bubble. And then they would have waited. The data right now is saying, listen, I can buy in for a low cost of entry. And I've been watching this guy, Mark, and I kind of coincide with what he thinks is that, the industry, the market, the economy can't stay the way it is forever. Like something has to happen, and more than likely it's going to get bad. So if I position myself now at this low cost of entry, when things go bad, I'm already going to be in. So when the shit comes back up, I'm already going to be in it. The data is there. The data was there then, but people bought in off of feeling and emotion. They felt like they could run up a bag because following them and man-manning them on Instagram told them that they ran 3 blocks and made $10,000 to deliver 1 pallet. But if they would have researched and looked at the actual data and researched the industry, they would have known that they were in a bubble, and they would have known why. So
Well,
if you feel like you want to do it, then that's great.
well, like I said, I still got some money to save up before I jump in. I ain't gonna do no dumbass shit and just jump off the front porch with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still gonna be researching while I'm saving up my bread to do what I gotta do.
Have you looked at the data? Have you looked at the numbers? Have you researched the industry? Do you understand how you're going to come in? How much it's going to cost you to come in? What your operation idea? It's going to cost you to operate based on how you're coming in. Those variable costs, you're not going to be able to fully know what those variable costs are going to be all the way until you get out there. But have you mapped out a plan on how you're going to come in and done enough research to see how much it's going to cost you to operate from a fixed perspective? Okay.
A little bit. I'm not gonna say I've been all advanced, but I definitely looked at it. Like at least to the bare minimum. At least you know what I mean. Like
what do you mean?
I know that.
What do you mean?
Like I know the cost per mile.
How do you know? What's the cost per mile?
Well, based off the research I did, a lot of I hear, I mean, like based off the research I did, and I'm not one to like I said, I'm not trying to hit a home run all the time. Like I said, like some weeks you're gonna have to just knuckle down and make sure that you could pay for fuel, and the cost per mile, whatever, is about 180, 180, 185.
Whose
So
cost per mile is that? Whose cost per mile is that?
I mean, I was like I said, like I ain't trying to offend you or say nothing wrong or be weird or nothing. I was just saying, I mean, I seen a lot of people talking, and I see a lot of people coming up with that number. Personally, it's probably not gonna be my number, but I see a lot of box truck individuals coming up with that number. It's about, if you could get around there for each load, around 185 per load, not per load, but like,
Look. That's
like
not
try
a
to keep
cost
it.
per mile. That's not a cost per mile, sir. That's the rate. See,
Okay.
you're getting things confused.
Okay.
And this is why you need to educate yourself, because that is something that's very basic.
Yeah.
And just and even though you're getting it confused, that number that you're saying you're hearing people talk about as a standard generalized rate that you should be looking to take when you're searching for opportunities on the load board, who determines that? Everybody's cost per mile, which you don't know, is what it costs you to operate your vehicle, your asset, per mile.
Hmm.
Everybody's cost per mile is going to be different. So who says this should be the rate that you're looking for? What if your cost per
True.
mile is I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say $1.
Then that mean I could bang them in the head,
How?
and then I mean, I could take if my cost per mile is $1. Never mind. I'm gonna go ahead and let you, because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, smart. So this number that you hear people saying, like, that doesn't mean anything. There's no industry standard when it comes to what a person should or shouldn't take. Whatever is best for you and what you got going on is best for you and what you got going on. What's best for the next person is what's best for the next person. And guess what? You may be able to operate for a lot less than the next person who's setting this bar for whatever it is. And if you take something below that bar, they're going to point at you and call you they. So there's no such, like, there's no industry standard on what you should or shouldn't take. And see, this goes back to what I was talking about in this stream as far as consuming information. Like, people will tell you this shit, but a real business person, as a business person, I don't care about what you got going on. I only care about what's in front of me and what's in the best interest of me and mine. So if my operational cost is lower than yours and we're in direct competition with each other, I don't care nothing about no industry standard. If I can beat you 40 ways going north to redirect your foot traffic into my storefront, then that's what I'm going to do. Especially if I can operate on a lower cost than you. I'm not going to care about some type of industry. That's what I'm saying. What is this industry standard $2 and you saying 185? Like, no one, a real business person doesn't operate like that. This is why I'm saying you need to do a lot more research and you need to get your mindset in the frame of a business person. Business ain't no standard on that. The standard is for me to go upside your head and beat you 40 ways going north and redirect your foot traffic into my business so that your customers can pay me. That's the standard, me to knock your block off. Who's he hung up? there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So, man, the real man gets real. The real gets real, man. So, all right, man. So, hopefully everybody learned something today. Hopefully the young people that were watching, they learned something. I was on for about an hour longer than I planned on being on. I really only want to. Oh, here he comes again. Yo, yo,
My bad.
yo.
Yeah, you can hear.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were saying industry standards, knock your block off, and make sure your customers come to me. I understand that. I'm listening.
yes. So ain't no industry standard, dog. You got to make sure that your cost is low and that whatever opportunities that you see are profitable, those are the opportunities that you go after. Profitable opportunities. There's no industry standard on what you a bar that you can't operate or accept something under a specific bar or over a specific bar. It's what is best for you and your business based on your operational cost. If that was the
Okay.
case, then Walmart would be charging the same as Target and some of these other
Facts.
big box stores. But Walmart continues to beat their competition 40 ways
Facts.
going north, right? Because
Yeah.
they operate at a lot lower cost. They have marketing strategies, they have logistic strategies that their competitors don't have to keep their cost right lower.
Mm-hmm.
And because they keep their costs lower, they're able to pass those savings along to who?
To the customers.
To the consumer. That's the name of the game. And when you can beat your competition, you grow because you get more volume. All right. Just because because you can operate at a lower cost and you can charge customers lower, that's going to equate to more customers coming over to you. And then they make more money in volume.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But that's why I listen to you because I ain't trying to be sold no dream. You know, I was even thinking about buying a little package from Von Zell, but I thought about it and I was like,
I don't even know who that is, big
nah, I could
dog.
probably, yeah, I could probably do this on my own. You know, as long as I do my research and us come in with some money, don't come in all broke. I should be fine. You know, like I said, I work hard and I ain't want to skip no steps.
Yeah, man. Just educate yourself, big dog. Don't be a statistic out here like so many people have been. If you got a job and you working and you making good money, as you do your research and you become more educated on coming into this industry, then do a compare and contrast on coming into this industry versus your job. But also add in that risk factor there too. Make sure you add that risk factor in. How much can you sacrifice? You see what I'm saying? So make sure you put all that in there. And just I don't think there's nothing wrong with working a job, bro. I don't. And everybody in your age category is the same shit. Man, I'm tired of working for somebody. How you tired? And it goes back to what I said earlier. It's like listening to a song on the radio back in the day. Certain record labels pay program directors payola to play new songs over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it gets into the consumer, which is the listener, head to the point where now they're humming the song and they're singing the song unconsciously because they keep hearing it over and over and over again. And then what? They go to the record store and they buy that single or they buy that album. I use the same example as far as the box truck. You see it over again, but you see how it's perpetuated as far as something that's very inexpensive to get into that is going to result in making a lot of money, which is far from the truth. Same thing as far as this whole boss culture, right? You got to promote the entrepreneurship culture in order to get people to buy into different sectors and different industries so that people can continue to make money selling you information, whether it's good information or bad information, right? Everywhere you turn now, it's entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship, boss, 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 boss. I'm tired to the point where y'all hearing this shit and now y'all, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then when you get out here because you haven't educated yourself, you haven't done enough research, you realize that what you thought, it ain't that. What you was sold, it ain't that. What you heard, it ain't that. But guess what? When you finally realize that, it's too late. It's too late. You've already invested your money. I've talked to people who have drawn down their 401k with a penalty in hopes to pay that
Damn.
shit back and lost all their money. Now they can't pay it back. I've talked to people since I've been on YouTube that fell into this whole box truck shit where they withdrew their kids' college funds and lost it. People that have liquidated their bank accounts and lost it. And this is not me being, like I said at the beginning, pessimistic or negative. I'm just being honest with you. There is a lot that is associated with starting and building a business. And I don't understand. Well, I do understand because I've researched why so many people, especially young people, think like how you think. But this is why y'all keep getting hurt. And then, you know, there's other aspects that you have to factor into. Competition, people that are more experienced, more tenured, that have been in, that you're competing against. And there's a lot of things. Economical changes, economical factors, things that are beyond your control that ultimately affect the totality of an industry. Like, y'all don't look at shit from a micro and a macro level. There's a lot more to it than the shit that is perpetuated that's cut and dry, 5 simple steps to get started. It's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm ready now, man. I mean, I get what you're saying, and I
Okay.
understand it, but I'm willing to bump my head. I'm willing to
All
bump
right.
my head, bro. I'm willing
All
to.
right. All right.
But I ain't
Just
gonna, like I said, I ain't gonna jump off the porch with $5,000. I'm gonna wait till I got at least 30 grand, at least. I'm probably
five,
gonna need
five
more.
listen,
Well,
listen.
obviously gonna need more than that.
Here's what I'm telling you. 30 and 5, 2 different things, but I think you're missing the point of what I'm saying. Just like a person can lose 5, I've talked to people that lost 30. I've talked to people that lost more.
Mm-hmm.
You missing what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The
I hear
difference
you.
between you with 30 and the person with 5 is you just could withstand the learning curve for a few extra months than the person with the 5, right? You have to make sure that mentally, right, you have the information, the education enough to not only withstand the learning curve from a financial perspective, but from a mental perspective as well. What I'm telling you that I don't think you getting is there's a lot more to it than the basic shit you see. And just from the conversation that we've had, you misappropriating with CPM with RPM, things that are very basic, it lets me know that you have a lot more research to do because those basic things are very basic. But once you spend your money and you get out here, that's when the more intermediate and the more advanced things are going to come into play that isn't talked about anywhere else. And then this is where this working capital comes into play, because now you start paying for all the information that you lack because you didn't do enough research. And depending on how much working capital you have, depends on how long you can withstand the learning curve until you succumb to your ignorance. This is why I said you need to educate yourself. This is why I pick people's brains and kind of listen to them and let them talk to see mentally, right, where they're at and how much research they've really done. And if it's something as simple as that,
I got a question. Somebody like me that's, itching to get in, but I know that I need to do more research. Where could I find the best, information on this? I know you got some courses.
where you see courses at for me?
Well, I seen on the profile said box trucks courses.
Where you see that at?
I went on your Instagram, I think.
Oh, yeah, I haven't did courses in about 6 or 7 months, bro. I don't do that shit no more.
Okay.
Those,
Well,
those,
where's the
those,
best?
hold on, those videos are up. You could just watch those videos on YouTube, bro.
I
They're up.
probably have already.
Yeah. I don't do coaching no more. I stopped, bro, because it was a waste of my time. People coming to me asking me Googleable shit, and I hate talking about Googleable shit, so I stopped altogether. Because see, if you would have booked a coaching session with me and you would have got CPM and RPM mixed up, I would have blew a gasket. I would have blew a gasket, bro.
I mean, I respect you for being honest.
I don't like talking one-on-one about Googleable shit. There's plenty of Googleable influencer content creators that'll be happy to take your money to tell you to go get an LLC, go get an EIN, get a DOT, a MC, a DOC3, a UCR. Like, they can tell you that. That's a stream of revenue. I don't need it. So you can go to them for that. I like to have intellectual, deep conversations because it keeps my brain going. I'm at a point in my life where I have a lot of idle time now, and having intellectual, advanced conversation is what keeps my mind going. So very basic things that I feel like a person can Google, like there's plenty of people that will be happy to sell you something for some shit that you can do. You should go to them. But if you want to come holler at me, I'm in the Discord all the time having deep, strategic, advanced conversations. I don't like basic
I joined the
conversations.
Discord earlier.
Yeah. So I like to have deep, intellectual, I like to talk big boss shit. I don't like to
So
talk
have you seen
basic
anybody
shit.
besides yourself that's giving out good information as far as box truck information, box truck
I
industry?
don't watch nobody, bro. I don't watch people. I watch Midwest.
Midwest. Okay.
But like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, and this is where motherfucker probably get mad and shit. I'm just keeping it a buck. In this space, I haven't seen anybody that has advanced to the level that I've advanced to. Now, that ain't me bigging myself up. It ain't me being cocky. It ain't me being arrogant. It's just the truth. As far as my tenure in the space, I haven't seen anybody that has gotten to the point that I've gotten to. So it is what it is. So link always pinned to the top of the chat. It's always pinned to the top of the chat. But that's just what it is, big dog. So I don't. It's not because I don't. It's just the information that they given, whether it's good information, is not good information, whatever it is. I don't need it. So me watching someone else in a space that I've been in a decade and a half, it doesn't provide me any education. It doesn't provide me any entertainment. So there's no reason for me to spend time investing on information that, whether it be good information or bad information, I don't need it because I have it or I know it's full. You see what I'm saying? So there's no need or no reason for me to watch that type of information. Shit that I consume is information that I'm not maybe well versed on, or maybe I am versed on it, but I'm looking to get someone else's perspective on something. Box truck content, I don't need to watch other people. You know, I may watch like Midwest if I get a notification that he's going live. I may jump in for a second, but for I used to, but like, why I'm gonna support people that don't fuck with me? I don't fuck with them, so fuck them. And I'm not speaking about anybody in specific. I'm talking about everybody. Just keep it a buck. Link pin to the top of the chat.
All right, well, I appreciate talking to you and everything. You know, I ain't trying to keep bugging you with my stupid questions.
I'm not saying your questions are stupid. I'm just saying, bro, here's my thing. This is how you proven to me how so many people that I talked about in my monologue earlier get caught. All the stuff that you've asked and some of the stuff that I've corrected that you had incorrect is information that's readily available for you. Like, we're in an information age. You'll go out, like you said, you're gonna pay somebody. I don't even know who the guy is that you named, and the questions that you're asking are very basic. So you're gonna go out and pay someone for some shit that you can get for free, and then the money that you're gonna spend on basic information, that money can be used somewhere else that you can get some value from. You could pay a bill or some shit like that. You can invest that and put that to the side as working capital for when you come in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you are looking to consume information, you shouldn't be looking to consume basic information. You can find basic information on your own. When you look to get some value, you should want advanced or intermediate at the minimum. If you see someone that you value their opinion, you know this person is tenured in the space, you don't go to an experienced person to ask them basic information. If I had an opportunity to talk to Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, Bernard Arnault, Elon Musk, I'm not gonna ask them dumb shit, bro. And I'm not saying what you're saying is dumb. I'm just using that to emphasize basic. If I got a little time to ask someone that I've seen that has a wealth of knowledge in a specific space, I need to know that good shit, the basic shit I can get on my own. The shit that's readily available that I can't get is the information that I'm going to seek from that opportunity, right? Because I may only get the opportunity once. Why am I going to waste time talking to someone and asking them some shit that's readily available when I got an opportunity to get more intermediate or advanced information? I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity while it presents itself.
Okay.
So that's what I be saying. Like, And this is why I don't like answering those questions and doing this shit, because, and I challenge people and I tell you, I don't do it. Don't ask me those dumb Googleable shit. This is just a way of me challenging people to do the work. I'm not going to ask Jeff Bezos, oh, so what was it like to start Amazon? I'm going to ask him, yo, I'm going to ask that motherfucker. I'm going to ask him, I'm like, listen. I got an idea of how the company has a $3.7 trillion market cap, but what do your margins look like to get like that? Is the main source of revenue coming from the subscriptions? How are you guys able to profit with this massive logistic structure and the costs that are associated with it, and $0 deliveries and all that shit? What's the cost of running the logistics, and how are you able to profit from it? Is it coming from the subscriptions? Is it a combination of the subscriptions and the 30% that you're charging to the Amazon sellers? What's the profit margin based on how many people you got? 100 million subscribers. Okay, what's the breakdown? How many people are paying full? How many people are paying a discount? How many people are paying at a slight discount? What's your profit margin over there? How much are you losing on the logistics side? Are you losing on the logistics side? Okay, so a big bulk of your revenue is coming from the subscriptions. I'm asking questions that I can put it in my back pocket and see if I can incorporate it into some ideas that I may be working on, or ideas that I have that I'd like to get started. I'm not going to ask them some dumb shit. I want to know about the money. I want to know about the margins. I want to know all the secret sauce. Oh, yeah, man, Mark, we heard you met Jeff Bezos. What did you talk about? Oh, man, I asked him what was it like to start Amazon in his fucking parents' garage. Bro, I'm not finna waste that opportunity with that shit. I'm not gonna ask Elon Musk why he invested in Tesla. No, I'm not gonna ask him if I met Elon Musk. I'm gonna ask him, what did he see to take the money that he got when he sold PayPal, his portion of PayPal? What did he see early on in Tesla that he would want to take that money and invest it into Tesla? And where we're at right now, where does he see Tesla at as far as a market cap in the next 10 years? Why would I ask him that? Why would I ask him that? Hello?
Yeah.
Why would I ask Elon Musk? Why would I ask him that? I'm not going to be fanned out. Yes. Why would I ask him about the market cap in the next 10 years? His thoughts and why. Why would I ask him that?
Because I feel like that would be, that's not a basic question. That's a real good question of somebody that's, already in business.
Why would I ask him that? You don't know, do you?
You want to know. I don't know specifically, but market cap sound like.
Why would I ask Elon Musk Why would I ask Elon Musk what his projections are for the next 10 years? I'm talking to the CEO of Tesla. Yeah. I'm not going to ask him no basic shit. I'm asking him this question specifically. Why do you think I'm asking him that? You don't know, because it's simple. A business person would know it.
Because you're trying to gauge the market over the next.
No, because I'm trying to leverage his information to see if I can turn my money and flip my money. Okay. He's the CEO. He knows about shit's coming up. He knows about the Model 2. He knows about other infrastructure. They may build out more charging stations throughout the country. They may have deals in the work with other manufacturers that are going to be using their their charging station infrastructure. And all this shit is going to equate to more revenue, which is going to equate to a bigger market cap. Which means that if I invest in the next 10 years, I could double, triple, quadruple, 10 times my money. I'm not going to waste time talking to Elon Musk about some fanned out, man, so, man, you know, why did you invest into Tesla? Well, man, that was great, man. That was a great idea. And, yo, what do you think about the debate the other night? And, man, what do you think about the Cybertruck? Man, the Cybertruck is cool, man. Like, man, that's a great car. How fast does it go? Fuck the Cybertruck and fuck how fast does it go. Where the money at? I want to know about the money. I got an opportunity to talk to the CEO and I can get some inside information and pick his brain about some more intermediate or advanced shit. I don't care about how cool the Cybertruck is or what made him decide to come out with the Cybertruck and why did he decide to make it gray and not offer any color models and all this dumb shit? I don't care about none of that dumb shit. I had to think of a dumb question. That's why I couldn't even come up with an example of a dumb question. Because my mind is always focused on, man, where the money at? Shit, the cost of living ain't getting no lower. That shit getting higher by the day.
Yeah, facts.
All right, so guess what? That money got to keep coming in. We have to keep recruiting. Our soldiers got to keep recruiting other soldiers. Me having a conversation with him about why he decided to make this
start a trucking company
Cybertruck this color and not offer other colors is not going to equate to more soldiers. Me asking a question like the one that I presented, I can take that information and depending on how he answers it, I could potentially leverage that information into more money on my side. Because now I have inside information. I know about things that are coming up that I can't Google. They might be coming out with a Model 1 in 3 or 4 years that's going to be offered from $20,000 to $30,000. They might build out 1,000 more charging stations across the country. They may create an adapter for this manufacturer, that manufacturer, and their EV models to be able to charge on the Tesla network. This information isn't available on Google. So I try to, this is why I say, yo, don't ask me no Googleable shit, bro. If you got a chance to talk to someone that you respect as being tenured and educated and experienced in the space, you want to take advantage of that opportunity and ask questions that you can't source on your own.
Okay.
So, bro, you got a lot of work to do with as far as, and this shit, I'm not saying you're gonna have this at the beginning. This shit takes time, to develop. But I'm gonna be honest with you here, and then I gotta let you go. That learning curve it's pricey, it's costly, right? And it may not allow you a bunch of time. So you have to have a certain level of education coming into the space at the beginning, and you constantly have to continue to educate yourself once you get in. Make smart decisions, think about things before you do them. Don't make decisions based off emotion, sacrifice, understand that the business needs cash flow, right? Work, and just when you thought you worked enough, work some more.
Facts. Okay.
If you're in a decision where you have to make a decision between something else in the business, always go with the business. I don't care what the situation is. Unless God is telling you to come on home, come home, my child. If God ain't telling you to come home, that's the only thing that should interfere with the business. If you're weighing a decision and it's this, I don't care what this is, and this is the business, if this is not God telling you to come on home, my child, then always choose the business. And I don't care what it is. This is the life that you opted for when you decide to be a business owner. It's God, the business, then everything else. Well, Mark, what about my family? Because this is what you're thinking to hear. Mark, what about my family? If you leave your job to start a box truck business, the income that you need to take care of your family, where is it going to come from?
The business.
All right. So if the business income pays you so that you can take care of your family, where does the priority lie?
The business.
All right, then. So in parting, this is the nugget. When you get in business, because you're going to be tested plenty of times, choices and decisions. Or the business, unless this is God telling you to come on home, choose the business. All right.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I really do.
All right, man. You be safe out here.
All right.
All right, y'all. I stayed on longer than I should. Hopefully everybody got some value from this live stream. Until the next time, y'all. Peace.